drums, where the bass? Josh!
Where's the bass?
Hurricane is by far one of the most, if not the most worked on Kanye song of all time, with a staggering 31 unique different versions of the track. While we know that the Hurricane we have now with The Weeknd and Lil Baby is an absolute banger, not every version is quite as good. With the track beginning its life in late 2018, Kanye has had more than a handful of artists give their energy to the song through features. It is no secret that features can elevate the quality and sound of a track depending on the strength of the artist, but it is also no secret that sometimes a feature can miss the mark completely and bring the song down. Therefore, I have decided to go through and rank every feature that was ever on any version of Hurricane at some point in its life to celebrate the successes and mock the failures. 6ix9ine. For this list, I'm only considering features that have leaked and can be listened to, so no rumored features, and I will not be listing reference verses, as the purpose of a reference verse is to ultimately be used as a template for another artist, so it's not a true feature. Keep in mind, this is my opinion, so if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know which feature you think is the best/worst in the comments, as long as we can all agree that the 6ix9ine feature is truly awful. Coming in dead fucking last on this list is the Tekashi 6ix9ine feature from 2018 when Hurricane was still in its infancy and Kanye still thought working with 6ix9ine was a good idea. 6ix9ine delivers his feature in an extremely rough fashion, which he was probably going to go over later and finish, but it is probably a good thing that never happened, considering the first line of his verse is suck a dick. Yeah, I'm sure that one got you some brownie points in jail, my guy. Besides that, the rest of the verse is no better than the first bar, and 6ix9ine's delivery of the mumbles is borderline unlistenable, making this an easy pick for the worst potential feature on Hurricane. At number 8, we have Young Thug's feature, which originally leaked in the same Hurricane version as Dolla Sign's feature. While I'm definitely a fan of Thugger's work, he really just does not sound good during this verse, with a large percentage of it being unauto-tuned, offbeat moaning that is nothing short of questionable and makes the feature pretty bad all around. Okay. Like, this dude spends a solid 10 to 20 seconds of his feature absolutely violating your ears with no consent. He is also basically rapping about nonsense, and nothing he says is coherent or related to any part of Kanye's original verse. Kanye probably brought him in the studio expecting a banger Thug verse and then gets unsolicited porn moans and back of the high school bus level of shitty rapping. The few bars he does drop are nowhere near the quality we have come to expect from one of the most talented artists in rap today, and I'm definitely thankful that this one got cut very early on in the Hurricane development process. Honestly, before making this video, I forgot just how bad the beginning of Big Sean's feature is with his unique delivery that just does not fit the beat at all. For maybe 60 to 70% of his verse, Big Sean is rapping slightly offbeat and with a generally monotone pitch.
Bottom line, I'm seeing through the mask of the fakes like we at the Comic-Con. I point them out from time to time. Speaking of time,
that makes him sound like he's just now reading the lyrics he wrote for the first time. He gets a few points for the overall length of his verse, with it being by far the most bars of any feature, but that kind of doesn't matter when most bars are straight up cringeworthy. I'm gonna read a few of them here so you guys understand the level of cringe I'm describing. Speaking of time, me and my mom been getting closer. Either I took her for granted or didn't know her. Or is it I'm getting older? Or is it Luke is finally turning into Yoda? The last 5 bars of his feature are actually somewhat enjoyable.
Nothing but that good energy around us. I knocked down the walls in my head, free my mind up. I didn't chase a game, I helped redesign it. Going against us, you need Elijah Muhammad.
Where he finally speeds up the pace and spits some decent raps, but it's kind of too little too late at that point in the verse, as your ears are probably already bleeding by this point. As with most of Big Sean's writing, you get the cheesiest of cheesy lines and unenthusiastic delivery that combine to make this feature number 7 on my list, with the only saving grace being his last 5 bars. Finally, we get to the first actually listenable feature with the Sunday Service Choir doing their rendition of the Hurricane hook.
See, I feel so free, cool like summer breeze, cool like summer.
I like some of the Sunday Service stuff, but a lot of the time when Ye puts them on a track, the depth of voices and range gets completely destroyed by compression, and they just sound horrible like on 24. before. On Hurricane, they honestly don't sound that bad. I just would rather have any other artist on the rest of this list doing the hook than Sunday Service, so they get put at number 6. Of all the artist features on this list that did a legit verse for their feature, Ty Dolla's is kind of like a 5 out of 10. Definitely not as bad as Big Sean, but too short for any real substance considering it's only 9 bars long.
Who really loves me? Somebody loves me. Who really wants me? Who really cares about me?
He does start out with some really nice singing and then follows that up with some mediocre bars that once again have like zero relation to anything about the song besides being just words strung together and rapped to the beat, which I guess is pretty good considering Big Sean's was not even on the beat. Compared to Big Sean and Young Thug, Ty Dolla only really has one cringe bar, setting the bar real high here when he says, "This ain't real love if we ain't never fuck on my grandma couch." First of all, what does that even mean? Second of all, I feel like Grandma Dolla Sign might have a few issues with this, so it's probably good that this one didn't make the released version of Hurricane. Overall, not as bad as Big Sean, but definitely not better than number 5 on this list. I'm not always the biggest fan of KayCyy on Kanye songs, but he definitely pulls out a pretty decent rendition of the hook in his feature.
I know you won't. I know you won't.
His singing voice plus autotune fits really well with Kanye's vocoded hook that's on a lot of other Hurricane versions, and he sounds good doing a bit of an outro for the song. Kinda sad that he got the shaft again from Kanye and got cut from the released version, but I'm not sure he would have fit on the final organ-based beat from released Hurricane. This feature is a perfect example of really good auto-tuned moding compared to Young Thug's atrocious crimes committed on his feature. I'm gonna throw this at number 4 as there are 2 other artists that I believe do a hook for Hurricane better than KayCyy, but I definitely would not have been mad if this one ended up on released Hurricane. Coming in at number 3 is the legendary Clemons hook from a large majority of the Hurricane versions that have leaked since 2018.
Summer starts to leave, autumn falls on me, fall, winter, and spring.
This one definitely sounds better with the auto-tune, but his un-auto-tuned version is also good. Unfortunately, another case of a small artist getting shafted by Kanye, as there is ultimately no trace of him on unreleased Hurricane, but Ant deserves respect for his work on Hurricane because his hook is one of the best things to come out of the extremely long development process. Finally, we have who I believe does the best version of the hook, and that is the Weeknd. After the first listening party when Kanye still had himself and KayCyy doing the hook, nobody saw this coming when Kanye busted out a completely revamped Hurricane with the Weeknd on the hook and a totally new verse for himself. Weeknd sounds absolutely heavenly on the new organ-based beat and just totally kills it with his singing. I really could not think of anybody better to be on the hook. For once, Kanye actually released a song with an amazing feature instead of scrapping it for something way worse, like he did with so many of the songs from Jesus is King. Coming in at number 1, who else could it be but Lil motherfucking Baby, who comes out and spits one of my favorite verses of 2021. Whether it's the old Yandhi era beat or the new organ DONDA beat, Lil Baby sounds amazing with some seriously impressive writing that fits perfectly thematically with the song. His delivery sounds incredible with the pace of the beat, and his introspective bars reflecting on his past and how far he has come are just what Hurricane needed to finally live up to its full potential. Not only that, but the Weeknd, Lil Baby, and Kanye is an all-star lineup that basically guaranteed this song to be a hit as soon as Kanye played it at the second listening party. Well, that is it from my list of best Hurricane features, from the god-awful 6ix9ine verse to the ultra-cringe Big Sean bars to the beautiful singing done by the Weeknd. Hurricane has gone through so many phases that it's a miracle it turned out as good as it did in the end. As I said in the beginning of this list, it is purely my opinion, so I'd love for you guys to tell me in the comments what you thought of my list and where you would rank these features. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and
Josh, where the bass? Josh!
Where's the bass?